And, we oftentimes as leaders, we think about motivating people financially, and that is important. But there's been a ton of research that shows that what really motivates people is meaningful work, that they're engaged in meaningful work and that they have an impact on that meaningful work. So part of being intentional about setting the organizational culture is also making sure that people understand the why, again, behind the organization, the why behind their work, the impact behind their work. They want to get paid and they want to get paid fairly. But they also want to have an impact. They want to make an impact on something that's meaningful for them. So when you're thinking about setting that culture, that's a critical thing that you need to consider and incorporate.
So, do you feel this shift from strategic to tactical happened during the pandemic, or was it before then, or when did?
Started happening long before then, but I think it really got solidified during the pandemic because it changed the entire way that we work, right? So all of a sudden we had to fix this problem. It's so fascinating too, because, employees had for years for flexibility in work and the ability to work remote. And because many of our managers and leaders have only really experienced being physically present with one another, right? And we kept saying, well, no, we can't really do that. But how do you still build spirit and team engagement? And how do you collaborate? So there were all these reasons that we have put in place as to why people could not work remote. And then we had to change overnight. We had to change that overnight. And so any strategic thinking, conversations, dialogues that we had been having turned very quickly to tactical. Tactical very quickly. How do we get people online? How do we get them the tools they need to still interact and engage with each other? Um, and so no, it's not a new phenomenon, but it feels stuck right now. It feels stuck.
Doesn't it? It really does.
And leaders know it, right? So when you start asking leaders questions that go beyond um, their sales goals and their operational efficiency, and you start asking them questions about the why do you do this?